In today's video, you are going to be educated alongside me on a style study that was requested by followers of mine. And together we're going to distinguish what makes this Wakfu art style stand out from all others. And perhaps it's going to fill us up with nostalgia for the early 2000s when the world felt like a much quieter place than it is right now. Have fun and enjoy! Hello everyone! Welcome back to Drawn by Annie channel, where I'm showcasing my art process as well as yapping about different topics. Grab your drinks and let's get started! Finally, the time has come for me to try out the Wakfu style, as this has been requested by a very loyal followers of mine, Chocobarap Illustration, but before her it was actually another person named Fallen Angel 4936. And since they are very nice and a loyal follower, I tried my very best to fulfill this request in as much detail as possible. So today I'm going to work on a style study as well as a fan artwork of one of the characters from the franchise. I really tried to look into the franchise or try out the game, but life has been so busy recently, like I have so much work, so I still couldn't get a chance to do it. But I tried to search through the characters and find someone with interesting color palette, because honestly speaking, design wise they're all very nice. And the whole style gives this early 2000s and reminds me of my own teenagehood and the school times when I was growing up, watching some shows on TV. And then later on when I got into gaming, a lot of the games also have similar style. It's like semi-anime style, but with a pinch of something more interesting, if that makes sense. It gives me Oban vibes, if you know this show, the Oban Star Racers. And I've also found some similarities in style with the Elsword game. So yeah, I think those three have a lot of stuff in common. Even though I think they are not related by creators or studios, they're all made by different people. But this type of style was very popular in 2000s, around 2005 and maybe till 2012, let's say. So I did a couple of quick sketches before drawing this artwork. I've drawn another characters, but for some reason it's really hard for me to match names with the characters, because all of the artworks that I've seen, they don't have any names whatsoever. So I drew a character with a ponytail on top of her head, also with similar palette with Amalia, and there was also another character, a male character with a sword and the orange hair shaped like fire, because obviously I'm not a part of this community as per this moment, and it's really confusing for me to see all of these nice characters and have no name for them, so you'll have to guess by the description that I gave you. And also I found a lot of concept arts showcasing what seems to me a different life stages of these characters, and then a lot of them also are more about the species or race descriptions and not the characters, so I don't want to get any names wrong. Internet seems to be liking to point out to the mistakes that I make, and people are overly sensitive for no reason, and I don't want to enrage anyone by making a silly mistake. But anyway, during my quick sketching process, I was trying to understand what seems to be the most striking features of the style, and also what stands out the most and makes it different from others, as well as what are the similarities of what I've known so far. So for the similarities is definitely the expressiveness of the faces, because I've seen a lot of emoji style artworks, and as most products that are meant for kids or like a younger audience, creators are aiming for a more expressive features. So the emotions are very clear and also exaggerated, especially for the comedic moments, which makes it quite similar to what I've seen in animes. And also each character has a very clear color palette and shapes in their designs. And also my guess is that the characters that are representing the same race or nation, they also wear similar colors and share distinctive features like hair color, skin color and stuff like that. That also tells us that creators have put a lot of effort into the world building, because I believe that they've made this color language very strong based on the lore of the named nations. Even for someone like me who is not familiar with the game or the show whatsoever, from the first sight I can kinda make my best guess on the relations of the characters because they are wearing a similar color code. And also I can notice some classical fantasy features like archers' designs, swordsmen, magicians, like stuff like that, you know. There's a whole panda looking race that I believe is heavily inspired off of Chinese culture, because most of the characters that I've seen during my research look like monks, or like at least their design suggests that they are like melee fist fighters. And like most of those types of shows that are aiming for the younger audience, they're not trying to be too much realistic in terms of like body anatomy and stuff like that. So for the character concepts that are placed side by side, I can see that they have pretty much same base for like female characters and male characters, and then you can kind of slap different shaped hair on them and different outfits, and there you can have a new character. I think the reason for this are the processes of artists working on the game. It's much easier to have like a singular base for female and male characters to unify the style and the overall look of the world. I mean, there are still characters that are heavily different looking from others, like very old or younger characters. Like I've seen some very different, but like a majority of them are quite unified, which also distincts the style, honestly. I'm not saying it's a bad or a good decision, it's just a matter of fact at this point. And from what I've noticed, the proportions of the body are around 4.5 heads. So if you're placing a character looking directly at you on a concept art, for example, you can see that the full body of a character consists out of 4/4.5 heads of the same character. And also I've noticed that they have like a little chubbier limbs in general, and they also have quite large feet and palms, because for example in anime I'm more used to seeing skinnier characters and like elongated limbs, even fingers, they are very thin and long. But in here I cannot really see that. Let's say they have a lot more meat on the skeleton than I'm used to seeing in anime, if we're comparing these two. Like the character look overall looks more compact, if that makes sense. There's just 4 heads in the whole body compared to like 8 till 12 heads in anime styles character, which makes it very different, honestly speaking. So if you're looking your art style to be looking more like Wakfu's art style, try to aim for this type of proportions. What I would do is draw out 4 similarly looking heads or like circles, like a measuring scale, and then try to draw my character beside it to match the height more or less. Additionally, you can also measure every limb, like hand length with the heads and leg length. You don't have to do that every time. Just before you draw like a complex artwork with striking pose or whatever, I would give a couple of tries for the practice for the character's simple pose, like a concept art or something similar. Believe me, after a couple of tries you will get it. Another thing that I've noticed about the character design, specifically for the outfit, is that they have a very distinctive shapes for their outfits, and they're not putting too much details. Like there are distinctive elements of the outfit, but they're not overly complicated, if that makes sense. I mentioned before that I've seen concept art featuring different life stages of one character, and I've noticed that their outfit kind of evolves with them, and it gets more details or gets more complicated as the character ages. So that could also be your clue. If your design is a little bit overwhelmed with details, it might point out to the character that is older, wiser, and has more experience, let's say. But I feel like each detail on the outfit has its meaning. Of course, there are some that are made just for fun or for the purpose of looking cool, let's say, because in the end of the day it's a kids show and it's supposed to be fun and looking cool, right? But more often than not, each element should serve a purpose, either to be like a functional piece of outfit, like a weapon or a bag or some sacred amulet, or for showcasing characters' background and cultural cultural heritage. Sorry, I'm so tired of speaking already. But the general and overall look of the characters from Wakfu look very clean. Like there's not too much detailed rendering either. It's a clean color base and a couple of shading, which makes the whole thing look very clean and bright. So if you would like to try and draw in a similar style, these are the key points that I would keep in mind. Strong shapes, clean colors, around 4 heads in a height proportions, with chunkier legs and arms, and expressive faces. This is what distinguishes Wakfu style in my opinion. That's going to be it for today. I really hope that my style study was helpful. And honestly, I had a lot of fun drawing it, and it got me back into my early 2000s years. If you want me to try and style study anything else, and maybe a show or a game, you can leave your suggestion just like Fallen Angel and Chocoburb did down in the comments. And of course, the same place goes for your opinions or any other valuable feedback that you might have. And if you want to support my work even further, you can like this video, share it to someone who might like it, and subscribe to this channel. And I've also linked down below other social media that I have for you to check out my short form content there as well. You're welcome to join our art family and walk this art journey together. And as of now, I'm wishing you a sunny day ahead and hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye!